So there's a new limited time game mode in Fortnite Battle Royale called Solid Gold. As the name implies, all weapon drops are legendary. Now this is a bit deceiving since this only applies to weapons. You can still find healing items and grenades despite none of those being legendary except for the Chug Jug. So just to clarify here, you can still get bandages, medkits, boogie bombs, grenades, smoke grenades, and impulse grenades. In addition, there's also potions and mini shields. So only the weapons are legendary. Now I was actually extremely pumped for this game mode when I first read about it this morning. I've been hoping for a mode without shotguns for a long time. Nothing makes me rage worse than getting one shot by the most common weapon in the game. If someone snipes me, I can appreciate their skill for landing the shot. If someone kills me with an assault rifle, it's because I mucked up my building somehow or they got the jump on me. If someone pumps me though, more often than not I can't even react. I see an enemy and the next thing I know I'm dead, even if I have 100 shield and 100 health. So needless to say, it does feel great not getting shotgunned in the face every other game. The problem with this game mode, of course, is that everyone has the same equipment. It's not uncommon to leave an area with 5 gold scars at your disposal. And if you're accurate, you can wreck someone even with full shield and full health pretty fast using the scar. Now imagine that with a full squad in a firing squad formation. But with everyone having nearly the same inventory, true skill becomes much more apparent. The obvious better players will come out ahead since everyone is more or less on an even playing field. I do gotta say though, there's absolutely nothing more satisfying than swimming through a large lake of gold like Uncle Scrooge after a massacre of enemies. Now I did want to mention that some of the Epic developers on Reddit mentioned that all these limited time modes do indeed count towards your stats. They also count for your weekly and daily challenges. It was also mentioned that they're eventually adding a limited time mode stats category to your profile, but there's no time frame for that just yet. Now this game mode is a nice change of pace, and in particular for lesser skilled players. I say that because how often do you see a truly terrible player get a legendary item? Sure, they could get lucky and find one on landing, but chances are they'll die fairly quickly. In this game mode, even the noobiest of boobies can safely find and at least test out some of these legendary items. They still may die right away and cost your squad the match, but at least they'll get to test some of these guns out. And lastly, speaking of such players, that's my #1 gripe against these limited time modes. They're almost always squads only. I'm sorry to say, but if you've ever tried to play squads with random people, it's nothing short of wank on the cob. You either get some wiswog blasting his rap music, a black sock wearing kid under 10 years old that sounds like he's eating his mic, or someone that doesn't even have a mic at all. For example, listen to this squads match I joined.
Ojalá que sea en escuadrón esta cosa. O sea, sí, en escuadrón esto. Toditas son legendarias, ¿verdad?
Now I live in Indiana, and that kid wasn't even speaking English. Not to mention it sounded like he had an even smaller person in the background. So I must have played 20 games this morning, and not once did I get a competent teammate. I'd say in most of the games, it was me being the sole survivor after about 3 minutes. Now I do like the occasional challenge of trying to knock a full squad of 4 out by myself, but when I have to do it each and every match, it's just a bit much. And if I do make it to the end of the game by myself, it's usually me observing other squads going at it from a safe distance, which is a nice spectacle itself, but I usually get cold-cocked into oblivion as soon as the show is over. And that, as they say, is that. The limited time Solid Gold game mode can be a great skill tester due to everyone having the strongest weapons in the game, but the game mode is hindered by its squad only option. Just once, I'd love for there to be duos or even solos with these limited time modes. Regardless, being able to utilize some of the extremely rare legendary weapons every match can be quite a bit of fun. And if you have an actual squad and you're not forced to play with randoms, you'll likely really enjoy this game mode. However, just keep in mind that when everyone's super, no one will be.